Tick-tock, time to rock. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's watching from all over the world. It's your friendly neighborhood philosopher here, D. Wood. AP should be here any second. I could not wait any longer because time is short. I have another live stream tonight on Marlon's channel. Gonna be me and God Logic. Avery from God Logic are going to be live on Marlon's channel, The Gospel Truth, and we're going to be discussing what the Injil is. The Injil. You know, the Quran says that we got the Injil. You can ask 10 different Muslim scholars what the Injil is and get 10 different answers because they have no clue. And they have no clue because they can't give a decisive answer. There is no answer that actually fits what the Muslim sources say. There's nothing. If you ask Muslims what the Quran says about the Injil, the only thing they'll know is, apart from it being somehow inspired by Allah, is that it was given to Jesus. AP's complaining that I didn't send him the link. It's the same freaking link every time. It's the same. What? Let me go ahead and send the link to AP again. I'm going to send the link to AP. Pause, everyone. We got AP complaining that I didn't send the link, which is the same link that I've sent him hundreds of times. But he can't be pressured. He can't be pressured to click on an email from a couple of days ago. So I'll go ahead and send him another one. And then we'll all be good to go. And there you go, AP. Fresh link. Oops. Did you get it? No, he's right. I forgot to send the link. But it is the same link every time, so I don't know why it'd be a problem. It's almost like I'm dealing with someone who's Turkish. Anyway. Oh, look who we have here. AP. You guys don't see his creative little name city.
Here I am waiting for a link.
What?
Here I am waiting for a link, which I didn't receive. What is this, man?
Well, I had assumed you were going to be 10 minutes late, as usual, regardless, and so I would just start.
Fantastic.
What was I just talking about before AP rudely interrupted me? Oh, yeah. So at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, going to be on the Gospel Truth channel with God Logic. We're going to be trying to figure out what this Injil is. And guys, if you want to know what you should be studying for the future, everyone has done a pretty good job over the past several years of popularizing information about Muhammad. It's to the point where lots of people who aren't even interested in the subject now know about like Muhammad and Aisha and so on. So there's that. We've seen the collapse of the perfect preservation miracle argument. We are in the midst of the scientific miracles argument collapsing. The Dawa guys have stopped using it, but the information actually has to get down to regular Muslims. If you want to know what to study in the very near future, just start studying the issue of the Injil, what the Quran says about the Injil and the Torah. Start studying that. There's no way out of it, guys. There's no way. As I was mentioning, if you ask a Muslim what the Quran says about the Injil, he'll know two things. One, that the Injil was somehow inspired by Allah. And two, it was given to Jesus. You Christians don't have it because it's a book given to Jesus. That's it. That's what he knows. What he doesn't know is that the Quran also affirms that we still have it. The Quran says that we have to judge by it. The Quran says that we have no ground to stand upon unless we stand fast by the Torah and the Injil. And Allah repeatedly says he affirms what Jews and Christians have. He's talking about the scriptures that we have. And so when you put all of that together, in other words, once you compile everything the Quran says about the gospel, then the Muslim can't say, oh, the gospel, the Injil is a book given to Jesus. You don't have a book given to Jesus, so you don't have it. Okay, if we don't have it, Allah says we do have it. And Muhammad said we have it. As in still, as in not talking about first century Christians, as talking about Christians from the 7th century onward. Still have it. Anyway, We're over on the Gospel Truth channel. We're going to be taking challenges from Muslims. So any of you Muslims who are watching, prepare your arguments, look up your stuff, and be ready to explain what the gospel is. We would love to hear it, but guess what? We've heard it all before. Hey, yo, AP.
Yes.
Just told them I'm going live later, but I wanted to go live early because I actually wanted, early this morning when I saw this, I wanted to cover it before AF Post takes it down. However, he has shown no signs of taking it down. I figured it would. I took screenshots because I figured it would be taken down by today once he got community noted. You're the one who told me AF Post is like some groper account, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
groper news site.
It's a neo-Nazi groper account. That's what it's. And the thing is, it's just typical. It's not obvious when you look at it.
It's not. I shared stuff from AF Post because it looks like a normal news site. In fact, with the AF Post, it sounds like AFP, which is a news organization.
Yeah, but it's actually America First. And the thing is, America First has different meanings that some people who don't know the other meaning confuse sometimes.
Isn't that interesting? They always go into confusion and the misrepresentation, trying to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was the America First movement during the Second World War. That was before America entered the war. That had this non-interventionist position of like, we as America should not enter the war. We have nothing to do with this. We have nothing to do with Europe. Just stay out of it. And in a large portion of that movement was actual Hitler supporters and Nazi fans. So it became kind of ambiguous what America First refers to at that time. Mm-hmm. Now, today, for example, you have lots of people who are well-meaning and who say, I want to be America First. I want to care first about America above anything, want to have conservative, patriotic, good values, and so on. But there are the other America First guys who try to use this confusion as usual and sneak into the conservative, patriotic movements the idea of neo-Nazi movements. So AF Post is one of those. It's America First Post, probably aligned with or somewhat aligned with Nick Fuentes, who also has his America First podcast. They recently had some disagreements with Nick Fuentes because he turned out to be kind of weird. But they are very much. They try to act like a normal, regular news channel or profile or account. But you can often see them sharing completely out of context, twisted, really messed up stuff about different populations, and especially about Jews and Israel. So.
Yeah, and so guys, as AP was pointing out, there is a reasonable position that could be called America First. And it's not even about America being first. It means that governments of individual countries, their primary job is to take care of the people in their countries. That's their primary job. You're not supposed to be your primary job is not to be taking care of the rest of the world. You can, but you shouldn't let that interfere with your primary job. And so that's an idea of what governments are supposed to be doing. And by the way, that would sort of go all the way down the line. Like you have a governor of a state should be that state first. It doesn't mean you want to burn all states to the ground or something, all other states to the ground or something like that. So, I mean, your job is to take care of your state. If you can work together with some other state to help that other state, yeah, that's fine. Your primary job, if you are the governor of a state, is to take care of that state. If you're the mayor of a city, you were elected to take care of the people in that city. And so the idea is it's like good for governments around the world to be like that. The goal of this country or that country should be taking care of the people in that country. Your goal in your family should be primarily your family, not other people's families. If you can help another family, that's great and that's awesome. It shouldn't interfere with your dedication to your own family and so on. So that's the idea of a reasonable America First position, whether you agree with the philosophy or not. But yeah, it has become this. We're going to get a white Catholic nation and expel everyone else, and especially the Jews, and say, we're America first. What do you mean by America? Our white nationalist Catholic nation that crushes everyone who gets in our way. Except Sneeko, he's our friend. Yeah. Okay. So guys, look at this. You have people saying America first, and then you got these other guys saying it in a different way. They're using kind of a form of equivocation, confusing people with changing the meaning of a word or phrase as they go along. So anyway, we're going to check that out. We're going to check out a post by AF Post, this Groper news account, and we're going to see how messed up these guys are. I seriously thought, like, as soon as the guy got community noted, I assumed that they would take down their post. They don't. They haven't, which means they just do not care. They understand. It's like Dawa, right? It's like Dawa at this point. A Dawa guy knows he can lie. Perfect preservation right down to the letter. Then he can get exposed for lying. His followers will not care at all. Why? The followers understand lying is part of this. Lying is part of this. We don't care if you lie. We don't care if you lie. Lying is fine as long as it's for Islam. Well, you have other causes apparently in the world where it's completely acceptable to lie. You can make stuff up, and even if you get exposed, it will not bother your followers even slightly, because they have accepted this is a serious matter, and if we have to lie and cheat to get our point across and to demonize our opponents, then that is what we shall do. And anyone who opposes it is actually evil.
This is an example of the thing that you talked about the Dawa in the past, the 99-1 rule, which is what accounts like AF Post are doing is they are not intending to actually report facts. They don't care if something that they reported is true or not. What they care about is whether they got people with what they reported or not. Whether it is later afterwards fact checked and disproven, and even proven wrong with a community note. It doesn't matter to them. Community notes often come too late or don't come at all. By that time, the post they made has already reached thousands of people and has already misinformed lots of them. The community note will probably prevent some people from believing it, but the damage is already done, and they rely on this kind of stuff.
They do. So this is a version of the 99-1 rule. Keep in mind that the 99 is not a set number. It's a general principle, ladies and gentlemen. It could be 90, 10, or whatever. The idea is if you put out information and you know most people are just going to accept it and not bother looking into it. They're just going to accept what you say. And only a tiny minority are actually going to look it up and see that you've been exposed. Then it could be in the best interest of your group to keep spouting complete lies and complete nonsense. It could be in the best interest of your group to keep doing that, because you're getting a bigger and bigger mob. And if you get a big enough mob, it does not matter who can expose you, because your mob can shout down or silence, or in other ways, silence your critics. What is this, by the way? Terrible analogy, David. Do better. What analogy? My analogy between Dawa guys lying because they know they can get away with it, and gropers lying because they know they can get away with it, because lying is acceptable in both communities.
The thing is,
one second. I just wanted Dally 88 to know, anyone who ever tells me do better, that's an instant block. I don't like that nonsense.
Maybe I'm just being as paranoid as these conspiracy theorists here. But we're talking about the Nazi topic, and Dali 88 is telling you that you are wrong, which just makes me think, could this be a groper with his?
It's obvious. It's obviously a groper. There's something about this. Do better. I'm just like, block. I block like 5 of these morons a day. Block. But do better. Better than what? Making a perfect analogy?
You do better. How about that? You
do better. Just not here, because I literally just blocked you for saying do better.
Then come back. Don't come back.
I'm drunk with power like Assad. but not anymore, because I still have my power.
Alhamdulillah.
All right, let's take these first couple super chats, and then we're going to check out the AF post that AP thinks is pretty deceptive. And we'll see. We're going to see. Let's see. So 1.7-inch Islamic dilemma. It's supposed to be 1.8 inch, but if you're saying smaller, that's up to you. I'm the real destroyer of Islam. Yes, the 1.7-inch Islamic dilemma is the real destroyer of Islam. Mr. Late O'Reilly.
Yeah, I wasn't even late this time. You
Yeah,
see?
AP is saying he wasn't. That to be fair, I took it for granted that AP was going to be like 10 minutes late, and AP took it for granted that I was going to send him a link, and we
It's
were
true.
both wrong,
That's true.
but one of us was more wrong and Turkish. AP going to
Wow.
use
Yep, go on.
AP going to use the Billy Carson excuse. I just got out the hospital and was about to die. Also, the video was edited to make me seem late. We're going to have to check this out. Do you have any clue what that's about, AP?
I have no idea.
I have no idea who Billy Carson is, and everyone's talking about it. Every channel that posts something about it is it's doing very tough. The videos are doing very well. So I'm like, who is this guy that everyone's freaking out about him? And I've never heard of him before.
I heard that he's kind of a woo-woo cult guy. That's all I heard. I don't even know if that is true. So that's I don't even know if that is accurate. But that's all I heard about him. And apparently that became a problem. And then the guy had a terrible debate, and then he blamed this debate on the footage being doctored and him having a condition or something like that. I don't know.
And he was saying, and he was threatening to sue people, or he was trying to sue people to make them take it down and stuff. I saw him. I saw someone put a quote around, "They ambushed me," or something like that. I don't know if he actually said that or if that was kind of what the gist of what he was saying. Anyway, yes, that's something we will reluctantly have to figure out. I will have to find out what this guy is because people keep talking about it. Marcia, hey, is this another groper? Probably a dude putting a picture of a blonde girl on there to trick people. How come you all don't talk about the differences between rabbinic Judaism and Christianity, which are numerous, and only talk about Muslims? Didn't we spend like 40 minutes yesterday talking about the Talmud, AP?
Yes, we did.
Haven't we done entire shows talking about the Talmud?
Yes, we did.
So what are you saying? We only talk about Muslims? What did we talk about like 2 days ago? We're talking about Elon Musk and Neil deGrasse Tyson. You only talk about Muslims. That's all you ever talk about. Okay, yeah. You're about as reliable as AF Post. You probably are AF Post. Busted. Busted. But no, Marcia, you could say that we focus quite a bit on Islam. Why is that? Well, it might have something to do with the fact that we're both under a death sentence from people who say that in the very near future, they're going to have the power and authority to carry out their death sentences against us. AP under multiple death sentences for being an apostate and for being a critic of Islam. Me for being one of the greatest critics of Islam who's ever walked the planet. All my friends, because all my friends are either apostates or critics of Islam. And so what you're saying is, why are you focusing on this group where you have hundreds of millions of people who are trying to impose an Islamic law which will get you and all your friends executed? And that's seriously your question, right? Why do you focus on the thing?
I have bad news for you. I'm pretty confident, with over 90% confidence, that this is a fake account and the person Marcia does not exist.
Oh, of course. I already said that. Oh, look, I'll get a blonde hair, pretty girl on here. And this covers up the fact that I'm a groper loser in my basement and my real name is Nick Fuentes. I'll mace you in the face if you dox me.
I just checked and it's pretty confident. Yeah.
Groper losers, guys. Hey, gropers, when you come along and you pretend to be a pretty girl to try and get your message across, you're kind of in the Andrew Tate, pretending to be his cam girls while luring guys in category.
It's not even pretty. I just zoomed in and it doesn't even look like a real person. It looks like some weird.
Oh, some AI. I'm looking at the little tiny thing. Looked pretty from where I stood. This is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. AF Slopzilla Nazi account. Charles Lindbergh is one of the authors on their cheap, poorly made website. Sad. Charles Lindbergh's one of the authors on their cheap, poorly made website. Sad.
Really?
Hey, guys, I've been AWOL, but... Hey, Michelle!
Hey, Michelle, what's up?
Yeah, I haven't seen Michelle in a while. Hey, guys, I've been AWOL, but excited to watch. Did you see Westhoff debate with Billy Carson? Oh, gosh, I'm going to have to watch it. I seriously was not interested. I'm not terribly interested in cults. Keep in mind, I am not saying other people should not be interested in cults. People do need to deal with weird cults and so on, especially in our time when it becomes massively more easy to spread your cult's message and so on. So people do need to. But I also believe that we can't all do everything, and so different people need to. We all need to pick one or two or three at the most, like topics that we want to deal with, and focus on those things. And then together, we've got all the topics covered. So when someone comes along with a different topic, what about this topic? It's like, okay, I'm kind of dealing with this, and that. But there's enough people talking about this to where I'm thinking, okay, I need to learn about this guy and his cult or whatever that is.
Yeah, Michelle, all the best. Following your stuff, she was recently in some activity to break some record down in Africa or something. Very, very noble job.
Gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless Michelle down in Africa. That's your reward. That song, Michelle.
It's objectively the worst popular song ever.
What's wrong with you? Oh, Michelle did ask, AP, are you saved yet?
That's a good question.
It's got some of your Hebrew on there.
That's a good question. Alhamdulillah.
I'm an objectivist and a Californian, and I do not care for the woes of the world. I only for California. California for Californians.
You see,
now this sounds funny, but the idea is that as far as a government that is elected for California, that primary goal of that government should be for California. If they start saying, we're going to do this for this on the other part of the world, and throwing their own people under the bus, that is not what you were elected for. Again, guys, this is you could say in some idealist world, everyone's going to be equally concerned with everyone else on the entire planet. Humans aren't like that. It actually tends to work well when you are focused on taking care of your family, and the government that you elect for your city is focused on taking care of your city, and the government that you chose to take care of your state is focusing on taking care of your state, and your country is focused on taking care of your country. And then something like the UN is focused on, the multiple nations at once, something like that.
Alhamdulillah. Powerful.
Oh, wait. Here, we got the follow-up. I think that's stupid, but there's something to be said about not wanting or feeling as if we always have to defend Israel. What are you babbling about?
Look, Marcy, I want to tell you something. I defend Israel because, one, I love Israel. I defend Israel because I believe and I know for a fact that Israel has been in the right during the entirety of the conflict that is currently ongoing. I defend Israel because Israel is the only country in the Middle East where people are actually free. I defend Israel because Israel is the only country in the Middle East where people are actually equal regardless of their ethnic and religious background, no matter what kind of dumb stuff you might hear online or on social media or from your friends or from some dumb books that you never read.
What about from the meme?
The other countries surrounding Israel all have discriminatory politics. Israel does not. Muslim countries have discriminatory policies and oppression. Israel does not. Israel is actually a fantastic ally and has a fantastic track record with being an ally of the United States of America. No matter what kind of dumb stuff your gropers might say on social media.
That's not what Nick Fuentes said. I hope he pepper sprays you in your face for saying that.
The only people who think that Israel is not a great ally or a great partner are people who have no idea how alliances work, what the U.S. and Israel actually do for each other, which is incredible and incomparable, and people who also think that lobbyists just go and hand money to whatever political candidate they want to win. It's similar ignorance. Israel is a fantastic partner, is a great partner, and is a fantastic nation that, despite being in the middle of a bunch of brain-rotten, backward civilizations that shouldn't be called civilizations, is standing up and bright and tall and being a civilized society and being polite when they shouldn't be anymore at this point. So please shut up. You don't know history. You think that there is some. You think that Judaism is this evil religion that is something like Cthulhu, and they will extend their krakens and get the Christians out of their bedrooms and kill them and something like that. When the Jews have been the ones that helped build Western societies, and that are the the only glimmer of hope and light in the Middle East that there is, you don't know anything. Educate yourself a little bit. Listen to our stuff when we talk about Judaism and Israel. We clearly know more about you. And you think we haven't talked about this stuff? We have. So sit down and listen to it. If you don't want to believe us, stop believing your neo-Nazi gropers, these idiot incel morons. Maybe get a book from some of these Jewish sources and read those and look for yourself and try to understand what those things actually are, instead of reading neo-Nazi garbage that kills your brain just the way your hero eventually killed himself because he was a loser.
Marcia. Did that go the way you thought it was going to go, Marcia? Did that go the way you thought it was? Yeah, so Marcia, you asked, why do we have to defend Israel? I don't particularly have any just desire to defend Israel when a war's going on, any more so than I have a desire to just I have to defend Ukraine or something like that. I will, because I really don't like Russia. So I will say, hey, I hope Ukraine stops Russia from taking them over and things like that. But the main reason I end up defending Israel is because of people like you. It's because of people like you. I see what's going on. You're trying to take advantage of certain situations in the world and to lie, to spread more hatred against a particular group that you want to see exterminated. And so when I see that's going on, guess what? If it was a different group, I'd be defending that other group. But this keeps happening with Jews throughout history, over and over again. Let's get rid of the Jews. And let's do it this way. And when I look, it's always the same pattern, right? It's always, let's spread a bunch of lies about them. And then simultaneously with spreading a bunch of lies about the Jews, we'll simultaneously come up with a kind of honor-shame system where we shame you if you correct our lies, right? So if you can go back to the Jews are chopping up little Christian babies and making crackers out of them. Oh my goodness. If you were to say, guys, what evidence do you have? Where's that happening? Could you please explain that? Oh my goodness, he's on the side of the Jews. He's one of them. He's helping them. That's what you do, right?
It actually happened, according to some people, 1,000 years ago, and if they said it, then it must be true.
Show me the evidence.
Well, they said it, so why would they say it?
Yeah, so that's what was going on back then. And now it's, as we're about to see, Ben Shapiro says he wants Christians in Syria to be massacred. He wants it. And you say, that's literally the opposite of what he just said. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to tell you what they say, guy. I'm just going to tell you what they say when you say, no, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. You are lying. What they say is, AP, can you verify that this is what they say? They say, so again, guys, this is someone tells a flat out lie. Ben Shapiro says this, and you go, it's literally the opposite of what he just said. The response you get is, why are you licking the balls of the Jews? Why do you have your tongue? Why do you have your tongue so far up Israel's butt?
We will see it right now. Let's go and check. Let's look at it. Let's look at what these imbeciles were saying, and let's look at what Ben Shapiro actually said. You will get the same reaction. We will see it right here.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Let me get Marcia off the screen. Let me see. Let me get this tweet pulled up. Matter of fact, I have. What's interesting is the community note was taken down, even though the community note was completely factually correct.
This is what I mean. It doesn't. The community note system is
Is the community note system flawed because you can tell your followers to go and say, no, that's a bad community note, and the automated system will say, oh, a bunch of people say this is not a good community note, and they'll take the community note down? Because I've seen that happen multiple times where someone says something like on one of the Suleiman Ahmed channels and so on, or they'll say something completely false, it'll get community noted, and then like 2 days later the community note's gone.
Allegedly, Elon Musk explained that allegedly that doesn't happen because there is a system in place where opposing viewpoints are taken into consideration when a conclusion is reached for a community note and so on. But it obviously doesn't work. There are many groups on both sides that are Telegram groups, WhatsApp groups, and so on that forward posts to each other and say, "Hey guys, vote here, vote this, vote down, vote this," and so on. They organize, and it actually actually works. There is no way. This is like obviously, objectively, clearly wrong. And the community note is obviously correct, but by massively voting against it, they take it down. Eventually, it will probably go up again. But there are so many posts like this on Twitter about completely fake, made-up news where a community note once got up but was taken down and is still pending now, like months later. It's not a good system. Elon Musk always acts like it is the genius system that has resolved everything, but he ignores all.
It improves, but there are issues like that where it's going to have to develop over time. You're going to have to end up with some system of like trusted reviewers where it gives more weight, more credibility. Because keep in mind, if you're an AI system and you only got 10 people monitoring the entire system or whatever you have, everything else is like AI or something, bots. Then if these guys say, "Hey, this guy just said something false," and other people say, "No, they didn't say. They said something completely true," until you get a human reviewer in there to sift through it, that's not going to work. And so you're going to need something else with like more, basically outsourcing the verification process of these community notes to where it's not just the small group that you have that you pay to do it, but other people, and you can find out who's reliable and who's not. Anyway, AP, like everyone else, expects some perfect system right at the beginning, and that's not how reality works.
It's either perfect or garbage.
So here's AF Post, America First Post. Jewish pundit Ben Shapiro acknowledges Syria's Christian minority could be slaughtered now that Assad has been deposed, but says it's a good thing because Israel's enemies in the region have been weakened. Now that is very messed up. Does that sound like something Ben Shapiro would say? I mean,
that's the funny thing. I mean, if you have followed Ben Shapiro along the way, even a little bit, you would probably think, as soon as you see this doesn't sound like Ben Shapiro at all. What did he really say? But no, there are actually thousands of people who will buy this immediately.
All right, guys. So here's the post, and this is it's got the video with it. It's got a shortened video of what Ben Shapiro said. We're going to look at the clip that AF Post shared, and then we're going to look at the original video. But we're even just going to the clip that AF Post shared, America First Post. So anyway, again, it says, Jewish pundit Ben Shapiro acknowledges Syria's Christian minority could be slaughtered. So that's what Ben acknowledged, but Ben said it's a good thing. What's a good thing? It's a good thing that Syria's Christian minority will be slaughtered. Why? Because Israel's enemies in the region have been weakened. It's a good thing. You heard what you're going to see in this video, ladies and gentlemen. And then there's this community note that was there this morning, 2:29 a.m. when I took the screenshot. It is not there now, interestingly. But the community note said, in the video, Ben Shapiro clearly states that the slaughtering of Christians in Syria would be a terrible thing, the exact opposite of what the author of this post is asserting. So, now we're confused, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know who to believe here. I think we'll have to watch this video of Ben and see who's correct. So, guys, again, remember what Ben is supposed to say here. Christians are about to be wiped out, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing because it will mean that Israel's enemies are being weakened.
Okay, there were significant human rights predations against Christians on the ground, not only in the areas controlled by Sunni terrorists, but also in the areas that were controlled by Shia terrorists. Syria is about 10% Christian. Okay, so is it about to get worse? It definitely could, which would, of course, be a terrible thing. And then you have the question of what...
Wait, what? Did he just say it would be a terrible thing? I thought he said it's a good thing.
Why would he say it's a terrible thing? He's supposed to celebrate this.
Yeah. So according to AF Post, and this is the video that they inserted, right? That they inserted. Ben has a longer video on his site. This is their shortened version. Their shortened version of what Ben Shapiro said. This is the one they shared to verify their claim that Ben said it's good. It's a good thing that Christians will be slaughtered. What did he just say?
Is about 10% Christian. Okay, so is it about to get worse? It definitely could, which would, of course, be a terrible thing.
No, I'm confused. The community note was correct. He literally said the exact opposite of what they said.
Oh, so David, what he's saying here is that that there are lots of Christians in Syria, and of course they could get in trouble and they could be killed, and that is of course a good thing, right? Is that what he said?
Yeah. According to AF Post, he's saying there's lots of Christians there, and they're all going to get slaughtered, and that's going to be good for Israel because it will mean that that Israel's enemies are weakened.
Maybe AF Post is just a long-term project to test neo-Nazi groper audiences for how dumb they are, and then to just put something so obvious, a video out that it is completely in contradiction with the claim made, to then see how many people will actually buy it, and maybe in a year or so we will see the results of how stupid gropers actually are.
Hey, dude, we should do like a year-long 2025 experiment, right? Because we've seen it over and over again, right? With Syrian Girl, with Jackson Hinkle, with Suleiman Ahmed, with all these guys and girl, they post something that is completely 100% factually, demonstrably false. It gets community noted, and it doesn't bother their fans at all. It's like we want the lies. We should make an account. We should make a fake account and just post, like, everything we post will be some video clip that has nothing to do with what we're saying is in the video clip. And like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that person X just called for the extermination of all Eskimos. And then post a video that has nothing to do with that and see how many people like it. And then just over time show what a massive problem we've got here.
You need to appeal to something that is popular right now at the moment. Whenever, if there's another conflict somewhere breaking out,
Jews are killing Eskimos.
Yeah, something related to that.
The Jews are going for the penguins too.
It turns out Bashar al-Assad is a Jew.
Yeah, we should have whoever it is. We'll just say he's either a Jew or controlled by the Jews, and watch the channel blow up. We'll have 5 million followers by the end of the year, and then we'll go, ha ha, you idiots, we tricked you all.
Completely fake research attached to it.
Yeah.
And all that. It's funny.
All right, back to, but maybe it's a 3-minute clip, so we only watch the first few seconds. Maybe right after this, he's going to say, yes, and it's good that Christians will be slaughtered because that will mean they're weakened, so we can take them over.
You see?
And then you have the question of what Bashar al-Assad was doing to the country, which is killing hundreds of thousands of people using everything up to and including chemical weapons. Well, he's gone now, and Israel has been striking a lot of the chemical weapons depots to prevent them from falling into the hands of the new rebel alliance over here. Okay, so, again, is any of this wonderful? It isn't. But the one thing that is an upside is that the Iranian crescent is dead. Okay, the Shia crescent that, again, stretched all the way from Iran.
He just say the one good thing is that this Iranian basically axis of terror with Iran and Hezbollah and all this, that it's crumbling.
What he means is, so he's saying the crescent. What he means is that there is a geographical connection between Syria, Iraq, and Iran, with which they were able to freely, like Iran was able to freely ship whatever they wanted over to Syria and to Lebanon, for example, to Hezbollah. They can't do that anymore because their Syria connection is now broken. So he's pointing that out, and that is a good thing. I mean,
that's a very good thing.
Yeah, it is a very good thing. But of course, I guess this might even just be it, because he said that there is one good thing about it. They're like, you see, he's saying it's good to kill all the Christians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and guys, I mean, think about this. What he's saying is exactly what I would say, and it's exactly what we've been saying. Assad is a horrible, evil dictator, but he's connected to Iran. Iran has been behind global terrorism everywhere you see global terrorism. Iran's got a hand in it, right? Iran had a hand in the October 7th attacks. Iran is calling the shots with the Houthis attacking random ships and stuff that go by them. Iran is behind all of this stuff, And so guess what? It's good that Iran is collapsing and that these alliances are collapsing. The concern is there are going to be other bad things that replace them and so on. So that's so insofar as, hey, you're getting rid of Iran's sway over the world, that's a good thing. You are going to have to deal with other things. But just because you say it's good that Iran is crumbling, that does not mean you're saying, oh, therefore, it's good if Christians get slaughtered and the Christianity ends in the Middle East. Freaking
This is so funny. There are so many gropers in the chat. Joe Billy says, search up what Jews think about Christians. I can tell you what Jews think about Christians.
Why do you keep responding to the same things every single show?
I can tell you what Jews think about Christians. Mostly nothing.
You see, they think we're nothing. They think Christians are nothing. We're not even the worst of creatures. We're nothing to them. Oh, they're supposed to think something about us. How dare they not think anything?
Yeah. Hey, AP, you could ask any one of these gropers what would happen if I went over to Israel. Oh, they're all going to spit on you and beat you up and so on. AP, we've told this story before, but we were over there like, what, 9 days or something like that? Was I or was I not rocking a cross on my chest the entire time we're there?
I couldn't see it anymore because you got spat on like
Oh,
the whole
spit
time.
on so much.
I couldn't see the cross anymore.
We literally have video of me going to Michael Rappaport's bar mitzvah with like 40 IDF soldiers underground right beside the Temple Mount. And I'm standing there on a pillar. I'm standing above everyone else. So because I thought it would be a good camera angle. So I'm standing above everyone else. I'm rocking across the entire time. Not only did no one spit on me ever, no one so much as ever looked at me wrong. No one ever even oh my goodness, I can't believe he's got a cross on. None of that. You guys are idiots. And that, by the way, gropers, all you gropers who are watching, this is the question that was brought up later. Why do you guys defend Israel? Why do you defend the Jews? Because of people like you who keep spreading lies. We know what's going on here. You want it to be acceptable to lie about people you hate so that you can dupe more people into hating them and get a bigger community of morons who all want to wipe this group out. Guess what? There are groups in the world where you couldn't even hope to succeed in that method. The Jews have a small enough number to where actually wiping out a large percentage of their group is a possibility at various times in the future because it's happened in the past and because they're surrounded by a bunch of jihadis who want to annihilate them and so on. So it's actually possible to do massive damage to this group. And we see you guys, instead of wanting them to succeed as a nation because of who they're surrounded by, you want them wiped out, which means you're on the side of the terrorists. And in order to get your way, you endlessly spread lies. And I always have to wonder, if they're as evil as you say, why do you have to constantly make stuff up about them? If Ben Shapiro is as bad as you say, why do you have to lie about him like you do with AF? And one more thing. I just wanted to point out, why, final question, why, when we expose the lie that your side told a lie, here's what he did, and it's completely false, and we show that it's completely false, why do you get mad at us for telling the truth and not mad at your guy for lying? It's the exact same dynamic as Dawa. A Dawa guy can say, the Quran's been perfectly preserved right down to the letter, perfect preservation right down to the dot for dot, letter for letter. It's completely false. When we expose it and show that it's false, Muslims get mad at us. They get mad at us for telling them the truth, and they love the guy who lies to them all the time. You have the exact same issue. You like to lie, and you hate people who tell you the truth. How can you believe that you're on the right side of any issue if you have a community that is built around lies and you absolutely hate and want to destroy anyone who tells you the truth? How in the name of common sense do you view yourselves as the good guys in all this? It's weird. What were you saying, AP?
I was just saying something very quickly, which is that those who talk trash about Jews all day and all night do exactly what they always accuse the Jews of doing. Lots of Jews could turn around now and say, why would we support Christians? Christians literally hate us. Just look at how they talk about us.
Mm-hmm. Yes, if you wanted to say, hey, so when you guys say, look what this Jew said in the 8th century, you see, this is Jews.
look, that Jew spat on this Christian. You see, that's Jews.
AP is pointing out Jews could do the exact same thing to you.
Look, this Christian said this mean thing. Therefore, Christians, and we should want them wiped out.
And
I
yet
mean,
they
Ben,
don't do it
Ben
in
could have
solution.
Ben could have literally done what you gropers do and been completely justified if you guys think you are correct. If you guys think you are correct and that, hey, a person or a small group or someone did something, therefore it's okay to want them completely wiped out, then Ben would be justified in saying, oh, but look, you've got some Christians who've done messed up things, and you've got some Christians who say messed up things. Therefore, it's good for Christians to be wiped out because this is how Christians are. Somehow you would see a problem with it if he were doing it to you, but he's not doing it to you, so you have to falsely accuse him of doing it to you when it's actually what you're doing. You see what AP was pointing out? You're doing what you're accusing them of doing.
You're, oh, they need to be wiped out. Our enemies, our enemies.
And then what do you accuse him of?
He's saying that Christians need to be wiped out because of...
No, that's what you're doing. You giant walking clown emoji. Oh, boy.
I don't think these guys would understand it even if we spent 5
No,
hours.
they're too stupid.
No, what? Them say Jews not making crackers out of babies. Them lying.
Freaking
Then why are
cavemen
the
morons.
crackers at Walmart?
All right. Well, let's see. Maybe Ben is going to
Let's finish the clip. Let's finish.
He's about to say, kill all the Christians, kill them all.
On all the way across to Lebanon. That is now dead. What does that mean? It means the Iranian regime is actually in quite real trouble here. All of their biggest proxies are gone. Hamas, gone. Hezbollah, gone. Assad, gone. That means the Shia influence game is beginning to wane. It's beginning to end. The Houthis are basically isolated down there in Yemen. The Shia regime in Iran still has impact in Iraq, but internally they are much, much, much weaker right now. So the border countries, what are they doing? Turkey is doing incursions into northern Syria. They were probably behind much of what's going on right now. They're attempting to grab territory in northern Syria. They're creating their own buffer zone. They're attempting to encroach on Kurdish territory, again, in the northeast of the country. Meanwhile, Israel in the south has the Golan Heights. And anybody, by the way, who thought that it was a good idea for Israel to give up the Golan Heights, yeah, you're an idiot. Okay, it's a good thing Israel has the Golan Heights. Otherwise, you'd have Sunni terrorists sitting up top over the Lake Tiberias and firing down into the valley in Israel.
I just want to point out something very quickly here, which is that this is very important. The Mount Hermon, the peak of it, is at such a crucial position that is, it overlooks Lebanon, wide ranges of Syria, Israel, and so on. It's like it overlooks pretty much everything. It is the highest spot in the entire Levant. So giving up that place to jihadists, leaving it to their control, no matter what they are promising to do with Syria in the future, giving it to their control is objectively a horrible idea, especially if you're a country that is constantly threatened by jihadists, and there is a possibility that those jihadists could take advantage of high positions and attack you. The second thing is look at how Turkey has been bombing. Turkey has been occupying parts of Syria for 13 years and has been brutally bombing Kurds this entire time. And they're still going on as we speak right now. People think the civil war is over. As we speak right now, Turkey is sending in their Islamist dogs and killing Kurds, the natives of in the north, and trying to grab land. But who is everyone complaining about again? Israel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyone who knows anything about the history of war, always good to have the high ground, especially if you want to toss bombs. And so, if you have this giant mountain right in between two nations that have been in some conflict, if anyone were to send up serious armaments onto the top of that mountain, you could pretty much blow anything you want off the ground if you wanted to, right? Because it's literally just looking at, oh, down there, okay, send a missile down there, okay, bomb that, and therefore it helps to have an agreement with the other country. Hey, let's neither one of us, we hereby agree, we are not going to send a bunch of weapons up there and use it to destroy the other side. Do we agree with that? Okay. So you had that agreement with Syria, and now a rebel group just took over Syria, and you do not have that agreement with the rebel group. So what do? You take that until you come to an agreement. Then if you come to an agreement, then once you understand who you're dealing with. But under no circumstances should you let that rebel group seize that mountain and start loading it up with weapons.
And by the way, for 50 years, Israel respected the agreement and didn't cross the border. For 50 years, this is even being pointed out that that Israel crossed the Syrian border for the first time in 50 years. Does that sound like a nation that wants to grab land? They could have done this a long time ago. They could have just entered the civil war just like Turkey did.
Yeah. So, guys, what you'll see here is Israel is going to see what they're dealing with, because there's so many variables right now about what could happen. You could end up with some sort of coalition government where they all say, okay, we've got all these different groups and we're going to somehow work together. You could see them all try to fight it out and just until one group remains and so on. And then you have to try and figure out who's going to win, because these different groups are going to form alliances with other nations and so on, other groups. So there are lots and lots of variables right now. What you don't want is one of these groups to take a mountain that they can start just tossing bombs on your territory with no problem, and then you have to actually get them off there. You want to stop them from doing that until you have an agreement.
Okay, so Israel controls that area. They've been moving up into their own buffer zone over at Mount Hermon, which is in Syria. It's kind of the strategic height of the region. Okay, meanwhile, again, you have the Syrian government, which has now abdicated. They are turning over control to this rebel alliance. Unclear exactly what's going to result, because, again, you still have all of these players on the ground who are fighting one another. They may be united against Assad, but now Assad is gone. So Assad's family is out. The rebels, again, arrived in Damascus. Meanwhile, you have the Kurds, who are still controlling a large swath of territory. What does it really mean? It means that Russia is weak. Iran is weak. These were paper tigers. And their attempts to invade Ukraine and invade Israel, respectively, those went really poorly for them. What you are watching is the complete collapse of the Russian-Iranian alliance in Syria, and it is indicative of the interior weakness of these countries, which is something to remember going forward.
Yeah, guys, I mean, seriously, if you want to know what kind of trouble Russia is in right now, Russia is allies with the Assad regime. If they couldn't protect Assad from a group of rebels in Syria, what's that say? Same thing with Iran. When Iran, Israel's going to regret this when we rain down our fire of missiles upon them, and Israel just knocks them all out of the sky. All these nations that people thought were really, really powerful are turning out to not be powerful at all. And here's part of the problem. Other groups that were sort of not fighting because they were scared of these more powerful groups are realizing, well, these other groups aren't as powerful as we thought. Now we can attack. So they're smelling weakness, and then they're attacking. And you're finding out these alliances can't hold together. And so that is what's going on. But yeah, Russia, you're looking pretty weak, Russia. Ha! People worry about you and your stupid bots.
President Biden said this is the first time ever either Russia nor Iran or Hezbollah could defend a foreign regime in Syria. This is the direct result of the blows Ukraine and Israel delivered. This is what he said in a statement. No thanks to Joe Biden, by the way, who's continuing to slow walk weapons to both Ukraine and also to Israel. So if it had been up to Joe Biden, presumably.
One second.
I was waiting.
Look at the morons we're dealing with. Look at this.
Just ignore
He says, Russia didn't try to save Assad, so your argument makes no sense. What planet do you live on, A? Russia was bombing the rebels. Russia's been bombing the rebels for over a decade now. Russia didn't try to save them. Russia couldn't rescue them, even though they were dropping bombs just recently. Wasn't this within the last couple of weeks? Russia's bombing territories that the rebels are.
As soon as the thing began, as soon as the assault on Aleppo began, Russia went in and started bombing massively, indiscriminately, by the way. And they did so. They are the ones who helped Assad stay in power for so long. But you could now argue, okay, Russia didn't really want to save Assad anymore after the recent attack began over the last 2 weeks. But you have to substantiate that argument. It is a pretty weak one, because Russia now has one less source of support and is now also cut off from Hezbollah. So while Russia relies on the most draconian, inhuman alliances, they have lost 2 of those alliances now.
Yeah, so this is pretty straightforward. Russia wants massive global influence and reach and so on. They want allies around the world. Assad was one of those allies. And so when Russia's been able to defend and protect and keep Assad in power for all these years, they suddenly can't do it against the exact same rebels as before. They just can't stop them now. It kind of looks like, oh, Russia is weaker than it used to be. Could there be a reason that Russia is weaker than it used to be? Yeah, they've been at a war. They've been in a war with Ukraine for a long time. So basically what you're saying is Russia is saying we cannot divert the necessary resources to defend Assad anymore. We can't do it. What's that mean? It means they're weaker than they used to be. That's all Ben is saying. These regimes are weaker than they used to be, and it's showing. And no, Russia didn't even try, you giant morons. Oh, boy. All right, let's let Ben finish up here. I backed it up a little because we rudely interrupted him.
He said in a statement. No thanks to Joe Biden, by the way, who's continuing to slow walk weapons to both Ukraine and also to Israel. So if it had been up to Joe Biden, presumably those allies never would have been properly armed. But it is a very good thing and indicative, again, of the weakness of Russia and Iran, what has happened in Syria. Now, net, I think it'll probably be a good thing. But there are no great things in the Middle East. It just doesn't exist. A lot of bad people in a lot of areas.
That's the end of this clip that AF Post shared. So did you catch what he was saying at the end there? It's a good thing that the Russian-Iran Syria alliance is breaking down. He says, but it's not this great thing because there are no great things in the Middle East. There are negative consequences.
So let's point this out. Let's make it very clear. The AF post that we just looked at, or the tweet that we just looked at, what did it say again? Remind me. It said that Ben Shapiro says.
One second. Let's get the real one up on the screen because it's still up there. And here we go.
Jewish pundit Ben Shapiro acknowledges Syria's Christian minority could be slaughtered now that Assad has been deposed, but says it's a good thing because Israel's enemies in the region have been weakened.
Says it's a good thing. What does the pronoun there refer to? It. Christians being slaughtered.
In this sentence, it very clearly means to say that Ben Shapiro is saying Christian minorities getting slaughtered in Syria is a good thing. This is exactly what this post says. Did Ben Shapiro say such a thing in the clip we just played, which they themselves posted?
Nope. He said it's terrible.
Yes, he said it's terrible.
He said it's terrible. He said that it's good that the alliance between Iran and Russia is weakening. He said that's good, but that there are no great situations in the Middle East because other things are going to happen when people smell weakness. And so he says that the results, because we don't know that things are going to go horribly for Christians and so on. He says it could, and that would be terrible. And what does AF Post, the preferred news site of all the gropers who are in the chat right now, they say that Ben said the exact opposite of what he actually said. And guess what? They're mad at us for exposing it. They're not mad at AF Post for lying.
And
that's the community.
They now do exactly what we predicted they would be doing. You have them in the chat as well. They're like, oh, no, so what? Ben Shapiro hates Christians. He wants Christians to Jews bad. What are you doing? Why are you defending Jews? So they have completely ignored the fact that the Nazis here lied about Ben Shapiro and lied to, and it's not about Ben Shapiro. What they did is they made a post in order to use Ben Shapiro and once again vilify Jews in order to bring the blood libel into it and make it look like the influential Jewish guy is happy about Christians dying and describes it as a positive thing. This is not about Ben Shapiro. It is meant to rile up people who are Christians or who claim to be Christians or who are non-Christians who hate Jews already or who don't hate Jews, but this is supposed to influence them into hating Jews because Jews are apparently bloodthirsty people who want others dead. But so you as Christian, all of us, we who read this are supposed to be impacted by this. We sit down here and have now clearly demonstrated that this is a completely misleading post. It is completely twisted, not just out of context. It's completely twisted. It's a blatant lie. It is disgusting. It is pure false propaganda. And when we now respond to this, the response to this is, why do you care? Why do you defend Jews?
Why are you licking the balls of Jews?
Again, what are they, guys?
They're getting paid by Israel.
Yeah, think about this. What are they trying to do, guys? They're trying to shame people into not exposing their lies. That's the idea.
Yeah.
We want to lie. We want to lie. We want to lie with impunity, and we don't want anyone correcting our lies.
That's your dream, guys. You have the same fantasies as the Dawa guys. A world where they can lie 24/7 and no one responds to their lies. It's pathetic. I'm talking to your Dawa fans. I'm talking to you gropers, all of you. How in the name of common sense do you view yourselves as the good guys when all you do is lie in an effort to demonize people that you want to wipe out, and you have to lie and you hate anyone who corrects your lie? How do you view yourselves as the good guys when that's how you are? How? I'm legitimately interested in how you view yourself as the good guy when all you do is lie in an effort to exterminate other people, and you think that lying will help you accomplish this. Okay, so
you have somebody in the comment section even with a he has the icon of Jesus in his profile picture. Take that out, you freak. Says you didn't prove anything. He cheers on dead Christians. He wants more dead Christians. Okay, so that's what you are saying. What you are saying because you love it. Apparently, you love the idea that people want Christians dead. So you make this up. At least take Jesus out of your profile picture. At least stop pretending to be a Christian.
But that would interfere with my desire to convince Christians that I'm on their side.
Freaking
Jesus was a Jew. He was a big Jew. Big Jew. Big Jew. Very Jew. He was a Judean. And he also referred to the Jewish communities as Israel, by the way, just so you know.
So check this out. So guys, here's the post. We'll look at the comments and we'll see a distinction between people who actually watch the clip and the people who mindlessly believe whatever AF post says. So Jewish pundit Ben Shapiro acknowledges Syria's Christian minority could be slaughtered now that Assad has been deposed, but says it's a good thing because Israel's enemies in the region have been weakened. We watched the clip. He said this could go bad for Christians and that would be terrible. That's what he said about that issue. It would be terrible. His words. Terrible. So AF Post is translating terrible as good thing when they assess Ben's words. Now, guys, we always end up in this situation. Either the people who run AF Post are the biggest morons in the world, so stupid that they can't understand, words. They're so stupid that you shouldn't listen to anything they say because they don't understand anything they're posting. Or they do understand it and they're deliberately lying. And so if they're lying, you have to ask, if Ben Shapiro is this horrible, horrible person, why do you need to make stuff up? It's like so many other issues. Is there racism in the United States? Yes. Is it as bad as lots of people think? Well, if it was, why would you need to make up things like with Jussie Smollett? Why would you need to constantly fabricate these big hate crimes and so on? Why would you need to make them up if they're just happening left and right? So if Ben is this horrible, horrible, evil person who's constantly saying how much he wants Christians to be slaughtered and so on, why do you need to make something up and lie like this? Like to know. Anyway, so we had what AF Post said, and now we have, let's see the comments. So look, December 8th. So this is one of the people who saw it on December 8th. I went from admiring this guy dearly and still give credit for uncanny ability to articulate things, but motives are clear. I don't believe Ben is a good person anymore. He showed where his true colors lie. What's this in response to?
Ben says that it's good. It's a good thing for Christians to be slaughtered.
Orlock Knox, not a Christian, but that's really bad for him to say. What happened to respect for other religions? It's bad for him to say that it's good for Christians to be slaughtered, except he never said it. So keep in mind, these are the people responding on December 8th. Here you have, Muslim, and she's saying, no, Christians aren't going to be oppressed by Syrians, by the Muslims. No, that would never happen. Yay, Not Your Jewish Mom says, I just listened to that entire piece that you're referencing, and your comment is disingenuous at best. So here's a person who actually watched it. What Ben is saying is things were not very good for Christians under BA, and they were not getting better. Let's see. That's not what he said. So you have people who were watching this. Look at this. Check out the meme. Vocal Orthodox. So this is an Orthodox Christian, apparently, or claiming to be. And the Orthodox Christian is declaring that Ben said, some Christians may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make, with little Ben Shapiro there. So apparently the goal is for this to be completely acceptable by Christians, to say whatever anyone wants to make up about a Jew. Look at this. Basil says, and yet Christians will still support him. Christians will still support him even after he says that it's a good thing that Christians are slaughtered. We have Max saying you lie. How does this guy still have an audience in white America? After what? After you make up something about him? Isn't this insane that this is the world we live in right now? Like, guys, what was it? It seemed like about half of people just instantly fell for it, and other people in the comments are actually watching it and finding out that this is complete nonsense. AF Post. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the gropers, you can see them in the chat. The gropers lie. When you expose their lie, they don't get mad at themselves for telling the lies. They get mad at you for exposing the lies. Those are the kind of people you're dealing with here. And again, they view themselves as the good guys in all of this. They're the good guys. The liars are the good guys. The people who tell the truth and expose lies, those are the bad guys.
And they even post completely random fictional news. Yesterday they posted that Bashar al-Assad will return to ophthalmology after being deposed as president of Syria. He's going to return to being a doctor in Russia. Which sounds like a good joke. It would be a fun post to make if you were a satire website or something like that. But it's supposed to be an authentic news source, and they just make something up without any source.
Fun, wild stuff. All right.
And some of the people who buy their news, by the way, are people like Calvin Robinson, unfortunately.
And that's what sucks. But think about this. Why do you guys keep correcting all our lies? Because you're actually getting smart people to agree with you because they're not looking into what you say. And they just accept it when you say it because it is this problem. And guys, I'll just say, this is a general rule, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you've noticed, but there are a lot of people trying to lie to you right now. It seems it would be pretty commonsensical to say, when someone says something, I need to go ahead and check the source because there are just too many people spreading lies right now. That's a good habit to get into. It's a good habit to get into when someone says, here's something that someone did. Okay, let me click on this and actually verify it. Oh boy, take some super chats and then see what time.
You know what the bad thing is? Your correction of this will never get as big of a reaction as the false news that is initially.
That's why it works. That's why it works. Guys, it's an evil strategy, but it's a strategy that works, right? If you're a Dawa guy and you say, this is a scientific miracle that NASA has confirmed, and it's completely false and made up, but 99% of people will just mindlessly agree with you and go, "Whoa, it's a miracle! This gives us great confidence in Islam." And you'll get some idiots who convert to Islam over your lie. Well, guess what? If you have an environment where people are just too stubborn to look up anything you're saying, and they're so gullible that they'll mindlessly agree with you, it's in your interest to just keep lying to them. It's evil. It's demonic. But if that's your ideology, if your ideology happens to be evil and demonic, why wouldn't you want to use all the evil demonic resources at your disposal to dupe and deceive people? Reminder, D Wood, we can still not like or comment on super chats. I think you wanted to look up the settings. Sorry to say, AP's live streams are more based. Yes, I couldn't find anything in the settings that showed me how to do that. Our latest theory was sometimes YouTube rolls out features on a limited basis to get feedback on them. And maybe they have not rolled that out universally yet because
Actually, what they probably did is because they rolled it out for me, not for David, because I have priority because I'm considered DEI, and it's because of diversity and inclusivity and all that. That's why
That
they
would
rolled
be
it out
better.
to me first, and not to you because you're quiet. You come last.
Yep.
Quiet people come last. All the others need to be preferred. That's what I like. That's what we like over here.
Imagine if Mike Winger had 3 Muslim brothers and their names are a testament on how they take jizya payment from him. Names are Neil, Dan, and Paul Mike's Wingerling. What the heck is wrong with people? Look, we have the next Zakir. What? Yesterday, IP hosted a show with the worst person in the world. Do you condemn his betrayal? Again, if it was to ultimately expose the worst person in the world, that would be okay. If he's forming an alliance with the worst person in the world, that's a different story. Here's for David's Ben Shapiro impression. Was I doing a Ben Shapiro impression? I don't recall.
Were you?
No, I don't recall.
I don't think you can do that.
No, I just kind of have to use my nerd voice, and I don't think it applies.
Too fast. Like when you turn on the video, I thought it was sped up or something.
I have to turn on the video because it's Ben Shapiro. I'm going to say, we're going to look at the thing. We're going to find another thing. Yeah, I'd have to practice.
No, you have to practice bigly.
Boy, this live stream is getting more action than Destiny and Nick Fuentes at a glizzy factory. I don't know what that is, and I don't want to know.
I don't want to know either. I just see Destiny and Nick Fuentes, and I know what this is about.
Yep. Philip says, it's in Jesus' time, there was already a Judean diaspora in the Mediterranean and even the Black Sea. Were diaspora Judeans responsible for Jesus' death? That's another example. But Jews killed Jesus. Well, Romans killed Jesus.
Actually, it was Palestinians who killed Jesus.
Palestinians killed Jesus. We keep talking about how the Jews are just unique in certain ways. So again, anything any Jew has ever said at any point, you can say this 8th century rabbi said this, and the response of the Groypers and Muslims will be, you see, this is Jews. They'll just apply that to all Jews. Anytime any Jew has done anything, if you have a video clip of a Jew spitting on a Christian, you see, this is how Jews treat Christians. And it's the only group where if someone in the 1st century did something, then yes, all the other ones that were not there and had nothing to do with it, they're equally responsible, and all for all time, all Jews for all time. It's the only group. You would never say that about any other group. You would never say, again, like Eskimos or something like that. Look what this Eskimo did 2,000 years ago. You see, this is what Eskimos do. And it kind of proves this weird obsession with just hating Jews for anything and applying all these principles that you never apply to anyone else. You guys have some serious freaking issues. You guys have some serious issues, but these are the same people who ask us, why are you defending them? Because of people like you. You have people with weird obsessions with attacking Jews in an effort to ultimately exterminate them, and we just respond to your lies, and you whine about us. How dare you respond to our lives? We want to lie with impunity and never be corrected because we're a bunch of spoiled little crybabies living in basements.
There is this thing. For many years, I noticed a weird thing, which is that actually, coming from a Muslim background, I found it a little bit strange that some people in a Christian or post-Christian culture would do like I don't know, appear sexually alluring or something like that, or do something sexually entertaining and still have a cross between their boobs.
The big round bosoms,
and even do like really provocative entertainment stuff, and do that with a cross between their boobs. And I always thought this is kind of a weird, messed up thing. It's like, why would you do that? It's disrespectful. But I remember just seeing so many instances of that, like from industry to industry. And then lately, over the last months, I saw one of these newly anti-Semitic accounts on Twitter posting a picture of an online model, and just pointing out look at this. What do you see? And everyone was like, it's always them, always the Jews. And it's a girl who is online modeling, and she has a Star of David between her boobs. And I'm just thinking, I've never seen anyone point at all those thousands of women with a cross between their boobs and say, look, it's always the Christians. But they found they found a woman who has a Star of David there, which doesn't even have to mean that she's religiously Jewish.
Why?
It's always the Jews.
Why are you always staring at the boobs, though, AP?
That's what I do. That's all I can do.
That's what they do. That's what they do. Here you have Benjamin. These guys cherry pick ex-posts to appease their Jewish paymasters. The guys who share endless memes of quotations from fake Talmud sources are calling us cherry pickers for taking it off their main news site. You guys are such a joke, man. It's pathetic. Let's see. Michelle says, Wes Huff has the full video on his YouTube.
He does.
It's amazing. Hey, maybe we should message Wes Huff, and invite him on for a show and watch some clips. Because I'm thinking, okay, if we're going to actually pay attention to what's going on here.
I really don't care, man. You should do that with somebody else.
Well, I'll get Wes Huff on here and not you. And then you'll be humiliated and you won't know how this cult works.
Okay.
And you won't understand cults, and then you'll fall into a cult because you won't know any better. I never heard of Carson either, but I watched the debate and it was hilarious. Carson's arguments against Christianity make Dawa look like C.S. Lewis, who has put the full debate on his channel. Okay. Goy pars. It's goy pars. It's not. It's gropers. They grope people. Billy Carson goes on his biggest podcast.
They grope little
babies. So Billy. Oh, they're saying Billy Carson's actually popular. He goes on the biggest podcast. Joe Rogan, PBD, flagrant to say Jesus was never crucified because it's not in the Syrian Bible or the Gospel of Barnabas, and those weetods and their fans eat it up. Oh, okay. It's interesting if he's saying stupid stuff. I'll have to check it out. Just doing a follow-up. Did you look at that channel I mentioned and podcast? I appreciate your content, but I think a proper catalog would help. Critic the ideas, not the person. Slander doesn't help. What is this about?
I know, some weird comments.
You know what this is about? I'm going back to earlier comments to see if this is about an earlier comment, or you must be talking, Oil King, you must be talking about some previous post, and we have no clue what you're talking about.
Why do you think we would memorize what exactly you mentioned?
Yeah, you're talking about, this is a follow-up to my super chat from 6 weeks ago. What did you guys think about that? We don't know what you're talking about. That channel I mentioned, like people mention like 50 channels and podcasts every time we're live. So yeah, you'd have to be more specific.
I am kind of curious now who this guy is. He looks like a complete nut job from what I see coming up. But Billy Carson. When I search for it, I see a bunch of cult.
You literally just said you don't care. You just said you don't care. I don't care. I don't care to talk about that.
I don't care about the debate. That's what I said. That's what I meant. But
what if this guy's been humiliated? And what is this? I appreciate your content, but I think a proper catalog would help. Critic the ideas, not the person. Dude, if a person is acting like an idiot and saying evil things, I'm not joining. Let me just critique his ideas. If he's lying, what is the idea that I'm supposed to critique? He's got a moral problem. He's a liar. AF Post is a liar. The gropers are liars. I'm not just going to say, oh, let me disagree with your idea. No, your problem is that you're a liar. You're an evil liar who wants to exterminate people. That's your problem. I'm not critiquing you. Let me just talk about his ideas. You have moral problems, serious moral and psychological problems. And so I'll respond to those. So long story short, Oil King, don't tell us what to do. We'll do what we want. You're not our dad. You're not the boss of us.
Especially if we're talking about neo-Nazis and gropers and these people.
Don't criticize the Nazis.
No slander. Are you freaking kidding me? They are the bosses, the kings of slander,
and they're a bunch of dorks too. No comment from Gabriel, but thank you for the super chat. Bram says, a Syrian friend told me yesterday he was hyped to go back home now after 12 years. Not sure if I should be happy or scared for the poor. Or that's an issue right now, Bram.
The situation could, and I wouldn't trust it right now, but when the dust settles and they figure out what they're going to do, in theory, it's possible that it will be better. It's possible. I would not bet money on. I'm just looking at the different groups that are involved right now, and you've got some really, really, really bad, dangerous people with a lot of power in Syria right now. So I don't anticipate it being good. So yeah, for your friend, I know AP's going to be like, yes, in the back we give cute. No, I'm not going to do that. Tell your friend, maybe a devout Muslim or whatever. Just tell your friend, hey, why don't you wait till the dust settles and you find out if it's safe? Then go back.
Look at this. The stream of misinformation is just incredible. And then people come at you and say, why are you defending them? Like, here's, for example, a comment. Don't know who this is. It might be a fake account, might be a real person. I don't really know. Stacy says, there are evil Talmud leaders in Israel. Talmud leaders almost made sharing the gospel illegal in Israel. Evil in the States, evil in Ukraine, run by a money laundering sodomite. So a lot of this sounds like complete cuckoo nonsense, but it already begins with almost made sharing the gospel illegal in Israel. This refers to one of those typical lies and propaganda points that they have been playing now for years. And no matter how often you correct them, they don't correct themselves. They will go on to the next person and will tell the lie again, and thereby convince other people. What they are referring to is that there were actually two people. I'm not joking. It was two people who suggested in Israel that out of 120 people in the parliament, who suggested in the parliament that it should be banned to allow different people of different religions, different backgrounds to come and preach for certain other religious books in their country. So these were two individuals, two politicians from the extreme hard right religious movement who suggested such a thing. They suggested that preaching another religion and trying to convert Jews should be forbidden because the Jewish identity should be preserved. The vast majority disagreed with this. Netanyahu himself, as far as I remember, commented on it and said that this is a ridiculous suggestion. The president commented on it and said this is a ridiculous suggestion. They said there will never be such a thing. But the news that only two people suggested such an absurd thing, which is similar to somebody in the U.S. Congress suggesting something ridiculously dumb. The news that two people suggested such a thing went viral among the misinformation and neo-Nazi people who turned that story into Israel banned the gospel. Mm-hmm. And then also in response to people correcting that, the lesser version turned into Israel tried to ban the gospel but was prevented from doing so. None of these things happened.
Mm-hmm. And it's just another perfect example of they treat one group completely differently from every other group in the world or in history. Why?
Yeah.
Why? It seriously seems completely demonic to do this. Anyway, Dilly says, I'm talking about an objectivist California, every man a king. Are you talking about that weird Atlas Shrugged stuff? Idea for troll. Shrek shirk. Muslims pray to Shrek. It'll be called Shrek shirk because they're praying to Shrek. Some ideas are so dumb that they're actually funny. Billy Carson is popular with a specific demographic. He recycled Nation of Islam stuff with Graham Hancock sprinkled in. Don't hate playa. All right. Okay. We'll check it out. Fund me for AP's new computer online. I don't have X, so please show it in a live stream then. When more cash got collected, AP should spend a bit on his family and spending rest on something dope for Hanukkah.
Yeah, I should make a GoFundMe for a new computer. I'll probably do that tonight.
You said last night that you were going to do it, but you didn't. So given your track record, I would say it's probably not going to be up tonight. But then, okay, so you should spend a bit on your family for Christmas and then spend the rest on something dope for Star of David. I don't know if they're talking about some Jewish merchandise
Probably for Israel.
or something with Israel. We do not know.
I could just ask my Mossad handlers to give me whatever I need. So
yeah, that's true. No kidding. At some time, look up Love the Jews from Apologetics and look at the lyrics when listening. You will love it. Probably AP's new favorite song. I'll screenshot this. Ein Berliner. Surah 17 stopped being called Bani Israel after 1948 State of Israel. Is that true?
What?
Surah 17.
Stop being called Bani Israel after 1948 State of Israel. What? I don't
know about that. We'll check that out. I love you both. I love chatters. I wish Kamala's would go read or watch history videos to catch up.
You see?
That would be a good idea. Billy going full Nebuchadnezzar is fascinating. This Billy guy is good at getting people's attention. Dude, you literally got emotional. You just assume... This is Marcia again. Marcia. Dude, you literally got emotional. You just auto-assume someone's anti-Semitic because they question Israel. This is what bothers people. You question Israel. Oh my goodness, I know who you are. You're an anti-Semite Jew hater. No,
look at the gaslighting here. Look, this is addressed at me, and it accuses me of responding with anti-Semitism in response to Israel criticism. Look at the brilliant gaslighting here. Somebody coming into this and looking at this would think that this is right. What did this fake account Marcia Arshirts do? That this account sent 2 super chats prior to this. The first super chat was about how why do you never talk about rabbinic Judaism versus Christianity, and why only about Islam? Which was clearly about Judaism. It was clearly about Judaism. Mm-hmm. The second super chat was about Israel. When I responded to the second super chat, I also talked about how this person, whoever this is obsessed with the whole with Jews and Judaism and all that, and hangs out with gropers. What I also did, by the way, is to quickly look up this person on social media, and it turns out it's just a neo-Nazi person. So, and now the response here is, "Oh, just because I criticize Israel, you are now accusing me of being a Jew hater." Shut up.
Yeah,
go try
Marcia.
to gaslight somebody else, not me, okay? Go try to gaslight somebody who is just as dumb as you, not me.
Yeah, Marcia, you could criticize things Israel does all day long. 1, be fair in your assessment. Don't hold Jews to some standard that you would never hold any other group in the world to. And 2, don't lie. Those are the requirements. If you want to criticize a Jew, criticize Harvey Weinstein? You hear me complaining when people are exposing Harvey Weinstein? Do you hear me complaining when people are exposing Jeffrey Epstein? No, why? Because they actually did stuff. 1, don't say, "Oh, this guy, therefore all Jews," which is what you do endlessly. And 2, don't make stuff up. And if Jews are as bad as you gropers say, why do you need to constantly lie about them? If they're imagine you had a group that is as bad and evil as you guys say, but you have to constantly lie and make things up as the proof that you're telling the truth. You still don't see the problem. You still don't see the problem, do you? You're too dumb and brainwashed to see the problem, aren't you?
Just look at this. Just look at the chat here. Like we make one stream in which we address a typical groper topic, and they all come into the chat like
awesome. You check in, but you don't check out, gropers. All right, so we have here. This is Fatwat. I guess this is a joke. Jews spit carpet bombed Christians. Look it up. Also, Google dancing Israelis unless you are running. Perfect parody of a groper. Same gropers who are against Israel are pro-Russian. I wonder why. Just asking questions. Thanks, Candace.
The funny thing is, when they tell you to Google dancing Israelis, they're not actually telling you to Google it and to research it. They're just telling you something that you want to hear, and then just tell others. Nobody is actually encouraging people to Google it and to research it, because if you research the topic, it turns out that they're completely false.
D. Wood, did you see IP came out as a wingaling? Shame. Calling someone a wingaling is the most serious charge you can level at someone. So you just need to be.
I would be careful with that. Yeah.
Yeah, need to be careful and verify completely that he is in fact a wingaling. Issa says, "Hey, Issa, what is the best way to challenge the double standards in the space of violence we see in global politics? What do you predict will happen? What do you, as far as the double standards? I'm assuming he's talking about Israel. What we were just talking about.
Yeah. What is the best way to challenge the double standards in the space of violence we see in global politics? What do you predict will happen to Syria? The way to counter the double standards is there is just no way. The double standards will always be there because they are motivated by really sick ideas and emotions and thoughts. All you can do is just to point out the double standards as much as you can. And what will happen? Well, right now, what happened is that the group HTS, the Islamist group that is that split from Al Qaeda and ISIS, they overthrew Assad and put in charge a transitional government led by one of their Islamist men, who is now the temporary prime minister, and he has been given the authority to be prime minister until March 2025. This is just not a very good precedent because nobody was consulted about who the prime minister should be. HTS themselves just decided that their Islamist manager inside should be the prime minister for temporarily. They are now supposed to decide what's going to happen. Some people think about fair and free elections, which would take lots of time. I don't think that they can do something like that in a very short time. Some people say there shouldn't be an election. There should be a council of rules or something, or HTS themselves should rule. In any case, it doesn't look like this issue is going to resolve anytime soon because HTS is an Islamist organization that promises Islamist governance. They don't want to have secularism again, whereas other parts of the population are against that, don't want it. They are afraid of it, honestly, and they should be. And then there are the Kurds, of course, who are pretty sure Turkey made a deal with these guys, saying we will help you on the condition that we will not stop until you help us get rid of this Kurdish autonomy. Pretty sure that Turkey did that, and the Kurds won't just lay down and die. I don't know. It's a giant mess. People gave everyone this little impression for a brief time that the civil war is now over. It's not over. It's far from over.
Yeah, going to be a rough time. All right, guys, I have to jump on to another live stream here very soon, so we'll try and get through as many of these as we can. Rapid fire. You really got the gropers and the Russian troll farm internet research agency out tonight. Yeah, we need to do more groper related stuff because it is good to see them come out and whine.
It is right. They're obsessed. As soon as you address their topic once, they're
talking about us.
Gropers, trans, and Muslims are the same. You lie. You ignore all facts. Insane double standards, and ex-members were never really trans, Muslim, groper. That's true. Soipers. Soipers. Let's see. Christ, my vegan suppressed me. Anti-white racism, though whites, I don't know what this means, less than 13% globally. Have they seen Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire?
Yes, where he constantly says it would be good if Christians were exterminated. Trust us, bro. Trust us.
Ben Shapiro has been one of the most pro-Christian Jews in the public space. He actively tells Christians to go back to church.
In fact, he says that it would be better.
Yes, he says, you Christians, shut up and go back to church and quit trying to talk.
He says America should be Christian. He says it would be better if people turn to Christianity. Like what
an enemy of Christianity. You see, this is exactly what somebody would say who wants all Christians dead.
Okay, so AP still gets the Muslim bonus. Yeah. You mean the apostate? What does it mean, Muslim bonus? Talking about because you're an apostate? I'm so thankful that you fight anti-Semitism. It's what we do. The Jews didn't kill Jesus. The Romans didn't kill Jesus, nor Caesar, Pilate, Judas, etc. Our sins killed Jesus.
Isn't that quite clear in the Bible? That it is.
Yeah, there is this matter of actually people actually nailing him to a cross. So yeah, you want to say the ultimate reason for it. Yeah, but it's weird if you say If you say Romans nailed Jesus to a cross, you know, no, you see, this is why we have to destroy Romans. We must hate Romans forever. 2,100 viewers, you picked the right topic today. It is.
It's so funny because you read the epistles, and the narrative is that, and you read the Gospels and the epistles, and the narrative is that the leaders will take him and hand him over to the Gentiles, who will mistreat him and then kill him. But the message you take from here apparently is Jews killed him, and then you go to the epistles where Paul says, speaking to a different community, just like those who mistreat you over there in our own community, the Jews who killed Christ, and so on, and then speaks about how those certain people are responsible, just like the other Gentiles. What you take out of this message is, once again, Jews are bad. Jews killed Jesus. It's so stupid, man.
Bonhoeffer movie is about German pastor in Nazi Germany, shows how Hitler changed the Bible to take out Jewish ties and added his own C trailer if possible. Bonhoeffer was a pretty... People, if you don't know Bonhoeffer, that was a Christian pastor who had the rough decision of deciding what to do about this guy who is doing some really bad stuff and was actually part of a plot to off him. But anyway, movie is either out or is coming out. I haven't seen it yet, but it's coming.
What incarnation of my camera?
Yeah. Imagine a world where people notice that you have technical problems and offer to solve all your problems if you take 5 minutes to set up a GoFundMe where we can all pay for your stuff. Technically, nobody killed Jesus because Jesus gave up his life. No one could take it. Glory to the Lord.
No, they forced him. It wasn't part of the plan.
Heads up, if you watch the Huff-Carson debate, the host is infuriating. He interrupts with long monologues that ruins the flow of the debate. Oh, that's not good. I hate bad moderators.
I hate such things.
Did you know Jesus wasn't really born on December 25th? You see, the Bible has been corrupted. Funny. I'm an Antiochian Orthodox Christian. My fellow parishioners have fled from Shapiro. Was tactless. My fellow parishioners have fled from Shapiro was tactless. I don't know what that means. Judging religious Jews by the small extremist groups is like judging Christians by the Westboro Baptists. Yeah, that would be
completely correct to do.
Almost funny watching ignoramuses who can't read a letter of Hebrew or Aramaic lecturing us about what the Talmud says. Yeah, especially when they've never actually opened the Talmud. Guys, I've said it 100 times. I'll say it again. There's all sorts of stuff you can criticize in the Talmud. There's all sorts of stuff, but do it accurately. Rabbi so-and-so said this, and that's a messed up thing of Rabbi so-and-so. But that's not what anyone ever does. They say, this is in the Talmud is what Jews believe. Oh, boy. Let's see. Good tithing. Good thing AP wasn't there to mess up your opening. That's true. David, I served in Magav, specifically in the old city of Jerusalem. I can tour you around if you wish when you come here. I know every nook and cranny. Oh, me and AP were all over the old city of Jerusalem. But yeah, next time I'm out there, you can... I don't know what you're going to show me because I've been all over the old city of Jerusalem too. Even when, that's where we experienced apartheid, when they said we couldn't go through a gate because we're not Muslims. Can we give Israel another acre of land for every lie the Groypers or the Dawa says? No, that's not going to work, but I like the idea. I've said repeatedly that I like, in principle, teaching people through consequences, not so much through bombs or anything else. It's just, hey, every time you guys launch a terrorist attack, we're taking another square mile of territory as more of a buffer zone. So do that. Now, okay, guess what? After them taking a few more square miles of territory, people might start catching on, saying, okay, this is a bad idea. In other words, if you have a group that is obsessed with martyrdom, they love martyrdom, but they can't stand losing an inch of land, it might be a better deterrent to say, okay, we're going to take more land in response to what you're doing, rather than we're going to martyr you, which you say you love. Here we have inspiring philosophy. Fake news. I am not a wingling. You heard it here, folks. This is why I said don't rush to conclusions. I'm not a wingaling. Mike Winger invaded my stream last night with his nerd fans. That's what these nerds do. I was overrun. AP and D Wood were not there to help hold the front line against the invasion. Yet we were doing a live stream too, so we weren't there to defend our friends. Now we feel like Russia. We feel like Russia, unable to come to the aid of our Assad friend, inspiring philosophy. Okay, that's not a good analogy there. Okay, our bad. We'll try to protect you better next time.
I don't buy it.
And do you knew the Bibel? That's German. And Jefferson Bible. These, what is the the German? This is the German Bibel. Yeah,
Nazi Bible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. That's why I said the German. And Jefferson Bible. There are pictures and explanations on Bibelausstellung.
We should make a whole stream about.
We should go through your German Bible.
We should go through German Christianity. They created their own form of Christianity because they wanted to change. They wanted to ditch Christianity, but it was too difficult to do. So Hitler had the plan to just create his own Christianity called positive Christianity or German Christianity, which would be like reducing all the pathetic aspects and Jewish aspects and turn it into a religion about power and all that. Messed up.
We should go through some of that stuff. We should do some shows on that. Luke 2:21. Luke 2:21. So that's the nativity. 2:21. On the 8th day, when it was time to circumcise the child, he was named Jesus, the name the angel had given him before he was conceived. Time to circumcise him. Why would they circumcise him? Oh, he's a Jew. I forgot. Drew says, excuse my misuse of words on covering the Huff versus Billy debate yesterday. I don't want it covered in a way that would cause issues for a couple that already stay near Billy Carson, and even Winger is in on the drama. That is interesting how it's someone I've never heard of got so much attention. But anyway, we'll have to check that out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean to cut this off quickly, but I am live again in 15 minutes on the Gospel Truth. Let me share that link right now for everyone, or Black Angel or Next Zucker Nike, if you guys want to share the link real quick. I'm going to pull it up too. The Gospel Truth. Just want to share the link. This should be good. Again, this will be me and God Logic accepting challenges from Muslims and, dare I say, gropers. And, dare I say, gropers, you can come too, since you guys are on the same side with the jihadis of the world. But any Muslims who want to come and explain what the Injil is. That's what we're going to be talking about. What's the Injil? What is it? We'd like to know. Next show. All right, guys, I'm sharing the link right now.
So somebody had kept saying, why don't you debate Andrew Wilson from the beginning of this live stream? I have never received an offer to debate Andrew Wilson.
Yeah. So why are they acting like you're backing down from a debate that you?
I'm not going to go and offer somebody a debate on this issue. If somebody wants to debate this with me, offer it to me. And
if Andrew Wilson wanted to debate you on Israel right here on this channel. And guys, you may say, oh, but Dave, no, I'm a good moderator. I don't take sides when I'm moderating. I become neutral. But would you agree to debate him on something? If you were properly challenged and he walked up to you with his glove, slapped you in the face and said, I challenge you to a debate, you're saying you would accept?
I would probably shoot him, but I would accept the debate.
And could we say that in the name of peace and tolerance, that before we actually have the debate, we could discuss what everyone agrees on, and everyone would agree that Muhammad had a sub 1.8 inch member. And we'd say, hey, we all agree on that. We all agree on that. We're going to disagree about Israel, but we agree on that.
We would have to come to an agreement on the precise size, but I would agree that Muhammad had a small PP.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Gropers are liars. AF Post is a bunch of liars. And Muhammad had a small PP.
That's it.
This is the only place you get this awesome information. Awesome information. Hang on, one last super chat here. Hi, David Wood, love your stuff. I made a video about how the Quran teaches Jesus is the Son of God, and I think you can make a more powerful version. God bless. Actually, AT Ministries, if you look up on my channel, Apologetics Roadshow, if you look up Jesus, Son of God, I have an entire video about the passages talking about Jesus being the Son of God and what it means. So check that out and let me know if that's what you're referring to and you just haven't seen it. All right, guys, see everyone here in about 13 minutes. I'll be over with God Logic on the gospel truth, inviting Muslims to finally explain to us what the Injil is. We really want to know because Allah just did not make it clear in his perfectly clear book. Sad. Catch y'all later.